All right, today I'm gonna attempt to explain my mix chain. It's gotten pretty crazy, so let's just get started. So from the top, any sound that I load in just by itself, I've just got a channel strip right here. Really basic, just a channel strip. Um, so yeah, like I'll probably mix individual sounds normally just by adding plugins. But once it gets to the bus level, things change. So right here, I've got a controller for all the different parameters that I want to mess with. And we'll go through each of these. So on the bus level, I can change the pitch of everything. I can change the attack and sustain of the transients. I can delay the signal just a little bit, but not like regular delay where it goes left to right. This is it's going to move it ahead in time or back in time. I can activate the tremolo to get a bit of a wobble. This is really good when you're playing lead or something like that and you want to accent notes after a while when they're sustaining. And I can mess with the speed as well. I can pan left or right in a stereo fashion, like real stereo panning. And I can change the balance, whether it leans more towards the left or leans more towards the right. Now we'll get into some effects. Um, I've got a ring modulation frequency knob right here, and I can also change the tune of it. This can be really cool when I'm playing with different tune versus what the actual tune of it is. So I can, you know, just from here modularly, I can really make some crazy stuff with the layering. Got a width knob right here. I've got Redux over here, so I can bit crush things. And lastly, I've just got vibrato and phaser. This is actually like chorus as well. Okay, so moving on. I've got a granular bus right here. And this is using Portal. You know about Portal, it's an awesome plugin. But so I have pretty much every useful knob right here that I can just come to and turn at a glance. But yeah, we're still before my monitor section right here, so it's about to get even crazier. And then I've just got a filter before it even hits this as well. That way, you know, I can just keep things simple and not too crazy yet. So once it gets to the monitoring section, things change again. I can monitor the mid signal, the side signal, the left signal, the right signal, the stereo signal, and I even have a surround panner right here that's focusing on rear speakers to kind of give, I don't know, it's an effect. It definitely does something. Anyway, each of these, I've mapped a shifter to so that I can shift the tune of each one. And you can imagine that creates some really crazy shit. Because I can just hit this random knob and look at that. It's going to be crazy. All right, moving on again. I have a dynamics and color bus. Basically, my theory is that I'm after this, I'm going to run things into a console, an SSL. And depending on what kind of bus it is, I'm going to have different bus compression for it. And then just a saturator. I'm using JST heat right here. But I've got some knobs right here that correspond to these over here as well. You know, the amount of compression, the amount of saturation, the type. This is on every bus. Just a different bus compression for it, but they're all running under the console. So after that, I've got the finishing touches bus. And so this uses low control to compress below a certain frequency. I can enhance the frequencies right here. I can solo the lows right there or use this knob, but I probably won't even be opening plugins anymore because they're all right here. Anyway, threshold, the low gain amount. Then after that, I've got fresh air with a mid and high knob, the trim. I've got a width knob right here from the utility. Just maybe if I want a little bit more stereo in that signal, just quickly turn it up or down. I've got not clipper, so I can just clip things instantly. You know, no need to open it. And then my final gain knob before it starts hitting my compressors. Well, the side chains, I mean. So I have thought of a hierarchical structure of what I want to be the focus in a mix. So right now we're on this texture bus right here. I want the chords to pop over the textures because I just want the textures to be a little bit of an ear candy. And I also want the snare to pop it down. Just a quick transient pop, put the texture down. And then I also have an automation gain knob right here that I'm going to use. I'll basically ride it. And yeah, so that's my buses for groups of instruments, but there's more. So if you go over here to the groups of the groups, I call them super groups, got even more controls. You can turn it up all together, more saturation, different tone. You know, I can mess with the timbre, different modes of saturation, thump knob right here to just get it smacking. Now, this right here, this envelope follower, what my theory was that once I have everything how I want it, and I'm at this level where I'm in a super group, then I'll start mapping these to to different other super groups. See right here, I have a utility which I call the lead sidechain. Basically, what it's going to do is it's going to turn down that super group when the lead is playing. And, you know, this could be like a shitload of different instruments on this lead supergroup from the voice bus. So, but I decided maybe that's a little too complicated, and I'll just go with these compressors right here because they're easier to use. But if I do decide I want to do the envelope follower method, then I can do that. I have the choice between you know, that or using just regular bus compression. So on these super groups, what I've done is I've taken this rhythm side chain, a lead side chain. So anytime I can turn down the harmony signal from the rhythm signal and the lead signal. On the rhythm, done the same thing. And on the lead, because I always want it in front, up front and center, I've only put this harmony sidechain on it. Just if I really want to, for a few seconds, bring up the backing tracks or the background of the mix, basically. All this is situational. It's all here for me to use if I need it. There's just so many possibilities right here. It's crazy. Anyway, so there's more. All this is going into the mix bus, and I've got more compression right here. Now, once I get to this level, I'm gonna start going into the plugins and fine tuning. Um I don't want macros. I wanna see exactly what I'm looking at or what I'm hearing. At this point, I'm really fine tuning things and taking a little more time and care for the overall picture. Now, the only thing I put on this mix bus as a sidechain is for the returns. Because if you ever like soloed a return and it sounded really cool, yeah, that's the idea right here. The harmony, rhythm, and lead section are all inside of the mix bus. But at any time, I want to be able to turn down the mix bus from the returns and just kind of give that, like, maybe give the mix like a washy sound for a second. And I think it's going to be a pretty cool effect. And I think that is about it. That's my bus. Oh, on the master bus, only thing I have on here is just meters. That way, just keep it simple. I really have no reason to look at this unless I just want to at a glance, check things out. Like, how's the tonal balance doing across everything? That sort of thing. What is my total loudness at? And, if I just want to change something in BSX, like a different space, and yeah, that's it. It's crazy, but I think it's going to work.